Now we'll be introducing and bringing to stage our lead discussant for this session.
Osato Evbuomwan is a marketing leader with over 16 years of experience, building some of the most influential consumer brands across Africa. From leading high-impact campaigns in personal and home care to driving culturally relevant strategies in the alcoholic beverage industry, her work has consistently combined creativity, commercial growth, and deep consumer understanding. Over the years, she has worked across Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, and Côte d'Ivoire, developing locally grounded strategies for globally recognized brands while delivering profitable and sustainable growth at scale. Osato has held leadership roles at global multinationals, including Unilever and Diageo, and currently serves as the marketing director at Moët Hennessy Nigeria, where she continues to shape premium brand experiences for the African market. Known for her strategic thinking, executional excellence, and people-first leadership style, she is also deeply passionate about mentoring and developing young professionals, helping the next generation unlock their potential, both professionally and personally.
Ladies and gentlemen, please another round of applause for our very dear own Miss Osato, the marketing director of Moët Hennessy Nigeria. Please put your hands together. They called you already. You didn't hear that, right? Please another round of applause. Celebrate her. Celebrate her. Thank you.
So I was just saying to my seat partner that I didn't supply all these pictures. I don't know where they took them from. I guess a bit of internet search is enough to bring out photos that I have not seen in a very long time. But good morning, everybody. Thank you to the organizers of MarkHack 5.0 for having me here. I'm very excited and I do feel honored. Special mention to the Eco Innovation Center, GDM Group, and Brand Communicator. It's my absolute pleasure to be here. So it's been almost 2 weeks since Arsenal won the Premier League. But it still feels like yesterday. So up Gunners. Up Gunners. Okay, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not an Arsenal fan. I wanted to see how many of you are here because they seem to be quite a lot everywhere. I also want to provide a disclaimer. I'm not an AI expert. I'm just a marketing person trying to make sense of a world that is changing way too fast for my own liking. So let me start with a question. How many of us believe that we make our own decisions? Most of us will probably agree that we do. We choose what we want to buy, we choose what to watch, we choose who to follow, and we choose what to believe. But what if some of those decisions are already being shaped long before we think we're making them? For decades, marketers have been in the business of influence. We've created desire, we've built campaigns, we've shaped perception, all with the aim of influencing consumer behavior. But that is changing. So where do I point this to change the slides? Okay. Today, artificial intelligence is increasingly standing between brands and consumers, not just as a tool, but as an intermediary, as an interpreter, and perhaps even as the most influential salesperson in the world. And this raises a pertinent question. If AI is shaping consumer decisions, then how should brands earn trust in this new reality? The consumer journey has changed. I think we know that. AI has quietly moved into the decision-making process. Or like we would say today, AI has entered the chat. Previously, consumers did the work. They searched, they compared their options, they read reviews, and they made their purchase decisions based on that. But today, they ask a single question, a prompt, and they receive a synthesized answer. Search has become AI first. Gemini aggregates information and shares with you even before you have the chance to visit an actual website. The information may be accurate, and it might even be convenient, because really we actually don't have that much time to click so many links and read through all of them anymore. But it signals a fundamental shift. We've moved from searching for information to being served it. And for brands, that changes everything. Consumers are no longer evaluating hundreds of options like they used to. They're now evaluating maybe 3 or 5, or even 1. We've typically obsessed over visibility, shelf space, media share, search rankings. We measure market share, we measure share of voice, which is great. I mean, it's not a bad thing. But it's no longer the only thing. There's a new battleground emerging, share of recommendation. When consumers ask, what's the best phone to buy? Where's the best place for me to go have casual drinks with my friends? Where should I take my talking stage to dinner? AI gives them what? 3 answers. And that raises a difficult question. Because if your brand is not part of those 3 answers, then does your brand exist? And this is where trust becomes commercially important. AI systems surface brands that have authority, that show credibility, that demonstrate consistency, and that have positive consumer signals. Trust becomes the passport to being discovered. So who decides what we see? Is it our advertising strategy? Is it creators? Is it influencers? After we've taken the time to identify the right creators with the right audience, with the right level of credibility, with the right cultural relevance, that should translate to visibility, yes? No, actually. There's another gatekeeper, the algorithm. The algorithm decides which influencer appears on your feed. It decides which posts get amplified. It decides which opinion reaches millions and which one fades away into obscurity. The influencer may be speaking, but the algorithm decides who hears it. The creator may well create something amazing, but the algorithm decides who sees it. The same applies to brands. Visibility is no longer purely earned through creativity. It is now mediated through technology. There's a third participant in that relationship. Recently, I had an unsettling experience. Like for many people, social media is my escape. Life is stressful enough, so I only want to watch things that make me laugh. Funny videos, children singing, comedy skits. The algorithm learned my preferences and optimized for it. Which sounds harmless, yeah, but I realized something, that at a time when serious incidents of insecurity and violence and kidnapping were happening in Nigeria, many of those posts did not show up on my feed because the algorithm decided that they were not what I wanted to see. And it made me wonder, if the country was burning, would I know? Or would I still be watching funny videos? And that realization creates a different challenge with AI. Trust today is not just about whether information is true. It's also about whether we're seeing the full picture or whether we're seeing a selective reality. But trust is being rewritten. For the longest time, consumers trusted experts, institutions, brands, but more and more, they're trusting recommendation engines, AI assistants, algorithms. And when consumers start to outsource judgment, what happens to trust? Do brands earn trust? Or do they inherit trust from the systems that recommend them? And if AI becomes the most influential salesperson in the world, who trains it? Who audits it? Who benefits from it? Who gets excluded by it? Who's held accountable when it gets it wrong? Which brings me to my next question. Can AI ever be neutral? I had a fascinating conversation with a friend who argued that AI systems are fundamentally Eurocentric. Not necessarily because anyone intended for them to be, but because of the data that they are trained in, the languages that they prioritize, the sources that they access the most, and the perspectives that are most predominant on the internet. But if my friend's argument is true, then we must ask ourselves, whose worldview is AI reflecting? Whose perspective is being amplified? Whose stories are being told? Every model reflects the information that it has been exposed to. And if consumers are relying on AI to help make decisions, then we need to understand who taught it to think. For African brands especially, this is important because trust isn't only about accuracy, it's also about representation. Will our brands be visible in AI-powered systems, or will they struggle to be seen? Then there's perhaps the greatest challenge of all. Historically, trust was built through evidence. If we saw it, we believed it. But today, trust is becoming harder to verify. We now live in a world where someone that you know personally might be seen in a video doing something or saying something that they actually never did. A world where your eyes can no longer be depended on for evidence. Now, when people see things, they first ask, is it real or is it AI? And when consumers can no longer trust what they see, credibility becomes even more valuable than ever. This concern is not limited to media alone, nor is it limited to brand content. It extends to decisions with real-world consequences. There have already been reported instances where military and security systems have relied heavily on AI-generated assessments, with tragic consequences when human beings fail to provide oversight and verify output. The lesson is not that AI is dangerous, it's that human judgment remains essential. Technology can accelerate our decisions, but wisdom still belongs to people. Which leads to perhaps the most important question of all. What is the role of human judgment in an AI-powered world? Pope Leo XIV answers this thoughtfully in his first encyclical, which was released last week. His argument was simple. Technology should enhance human wisdom, not replace it. It should support human decision-making, not eliminate it. It should strengthen our humanity, not diminish it. And I think that's an important lesson for marketers as well. So how do we game the system? Maybe the question is not about gaming the system. Maybe it's about figuring out how brands can earn recommendations in the world of AI. AI learns from signals. Signals include customer experiences, reviews, brand and user-generated content, known reputation, voices with authority. So yes, by all means, be visible where AI looks. But it's important that you make claims that can be verified and that you create and develop product and brand experiences that are so meaningful that people have no choice but to talk about them. Build a trustworthy brand, but do it responsibly, transparently, and with full accountability if something goes wrong. Trustworthy brands generate trustworthy signals, and trustworthy signals will drive recommendation. Trust may well become the most important competitive advantage that a brand can own. Not visibility. Looks like this isn't working anymore. Not visibility, not pricing, and not awareness. Those can easily be bought. In today's world, where AI continues to influence discovery, trust remains the force that drives conversion. Thank you.